live now. Grand Prix. We're getting ready for qualifying, round 4 of the season. Got 16 drivers for this one, so we should be very good from the turnout. I'm just going round 4, season 3. And it's raining here in Russia, so we have heavy rain, and we're gonna see some drivers going out on wet tires, I would assume. I'm not sure if this is going to dry up into intermediates or dries, but this is already very exciting indeed. Many drivers were complaining before the race that they didn't do wet practice at all, and it is raining right from the get-go here in qualifying. So let's see how this plans out for the drivers then, and who has done practice in the wet. Who is going to get pole then here in Russia? We're going to find out in just over 11 minutes. So no cars out on track yet. We see a mechanic there. It's a Toro Rosso. I believe that is MLG Kiwis. Let's see if it is indeed, and yes it is. So MLG Kiwis, also known as FaZe, the F1 commentator, is going out on track on the wet tires, and following him is Swam, and pretty much everyone now. Mitchell is going out on track, Renault of Guinness, number 24, out on track as well. Chill Drive with a pink helmet supporting breast cancer awareness as well. As you may have noticed, we got a new logo, which is with a pink background. We are supporting breast cancer awareness some in every way we can here in ERL. So we got a new fresh logo for the Russian Grand Prix, and hopefully for the next races as well. Well, we got most people out on track now. I think Elo is still in the pits, so is KLC. Maledixis is just going out on track, and we got Kiluminati still in the pits. So we're gonna ride on board with MLG Kiwis, who I think is off track there, and is very close to hitting the wall. He's going very slow. I'm not sure what happened to him, but yeah, let's check who is going to go on a flying lap soon. Guinness is on the 3rd sector, so we're going to ride on board with him now. Coming into the last 2 corners, got just over 9 minutes to go, so I'm pretty sure these guys are not all going to have 2 runs in. I think the lap is going to be about 2 minutes here in the wet, so Guinness is starting his flying lap now. And into the kink of turn 1 he goes now. This is going to be very interesting and tricky for the drivers to negotiate on the 3rd sector, especially in these heavy rain conditions. So into turn 1 he goes now, very cautious, losing the back end in the exit of turn 2, and into the sweeping left-hander of turn 3 we go now, or turn 4. Turn 5 now, 90-degree right-hander of turn 5. He goes very wide there. I'm not sure if that was invalid, but we got all drivers out on track now. What was this lap? This 1st sector was I'm not sure what it was, but we're gonna check. So let's just quickly put on this. There we go. So we got the fuel now. He's got 8 laps of fuel, so I think he's gonna go for 2 laps here. Still runs very wide there, and I think he's going to set the benchmark. I'm pretty sure he's the first guy to complete a flying lap here. Mitchell is right behind him on the 2nd sector as well. Greenwich Beer just entered the 2nd sector as well. Elo is about to start his flying lap as MLG Kiwis comes into the pits, as he's reporting some major controller issues. Tom Killer, the sector as well. It was a 38.8, I believe, on the first one. 38.7 for Warlock, so a tenth quicker than his championship rival Tom Killer. It's going to be very interesting to see who sets the benchmark and who has the upper hand in these conditions. Alice Killer, second sector as well for him, but let's run on board with Guinness. I think he's just finishing his flying lap, and it's going to be a 53.0. So 53.057 for Guinness. So let's see. Yep, 50.6 for Warlock. So over 2.5 seconds quicker. Mitchell goes second. Tom Killer fourth with a 50-point vision pole, with Tom Killer invalidating his lap. He would have been in P2 had it been a valid one. But we see some drivers invalidating their laps. Chill drove the 52.8. Benel FC with a 51.5. But current pole sitter Greenwich Beer in the Red Bull, I think he's going for another lap here. So are we going to see an improvement from him? MLG Kiwi is going back out on track, and I think he's still having controller issues, so I think he might retire here. I'm not sure if he doesn't have battery or something, but very interesting for the newcomer here making his debut. And we see some drivers completing their laps. The Bentley goes third and Mitchell fourth, with Swam in the Mercedes in fifth. No one beating the top two though. Warlock and Greenwich Beer still on the front row. Robin up into P9 with a 55.0. Let's see, Tom Killer, is he on a good lap? He's 4/10 up on his lap, so this is a very good lap for him now. 49.9 from KLC, so he's come back. Oh, I see there's someone spinning his Maledictus in turn 3. He spun his car into the Rolex sign. I'm not sure if because he got damaged or something, but he's gonna abandon his lap for sure. But KLC, what a lap, over 3/10 quicker than Greenwich Beer on his Haas, making his comeback after one race of absence. And he's on provisional pole, but no, Tom Killer 49.8 beats him by 300. Wow, Greenwich Beer 49.3. So the laps are tumbling down, so the track may be getting drier and drier as we speak. Chill drove the 49.9, just over KLC's lap time with a 49.921, so he goes into P4. But let's see what happens with the guys like Alice Killer and Benel FC who are in the pits. Alice Killer's left the session, so I'm not sure if that was a disconnection or something. But Greenwich Beer is still on pole, just over 4 minutes to go for qualifying. Tom Killer, championship leader with 40 points, 49.8 for him. The Bentley comes into the pits, and I'm sure most of these guys are going to come in the pits to fit a new set of wets to do their second run here in Russia. 4 people on the 49 so far, with Warlock on the 50.5. But as I say that, I think yeah, Elo actually went 6 thousandths quicker than Chill Drive, who just slots into P4. So another guy to go under the 50s. So very competitive here from all the drivers. Chill Drive is trying to get a toe here. He is on a competitive lap. Let's see his second sector now. He's half a second down, so I don't think he's going to improve. He has dirty air from Killuminati's Haas. Interestingly, Warlock is carrying on and he's not pitting for a fresh set. He has got plenty of fuel to burn. He's got 6 laps, and 50.0 for him then. Very close to the 49 barrier, but still not quite making it into there. Still 6th place. And we got Tom Killer with a 49.8 and Mitchell with a 49.7 has just improved to that lap time. So we got 6 people now in the 49s, and certainly many of them are coming into the pits for a new set of wets. But it's getting very close now. They really have to come out now just to get 1 lap in. We only got 2.5 minutes left, with the lap time being at 1.50 seconds. So this will be interesting for the for the second run of these guys. I think Alex Killer has just rejoined the session. Robin now into the last 2 corners. Let's see his lap time. A F2 reserve. I think he's abandoned this lap and is going for another one. So we're going to see him cranking it up to max and going for yet another lap. So let's run on board with him while some people are pitting. I think not many people are actually going out. Just 2 minutes to go. So I think people have to go out now just to get 1 lap in. And Illo just came into the pit, so I think some of these guys are not going to get a second run in. It's going to be very interesting to see who benefits from this and who doesn't. Greenwich Beer certainly has a very big margin from P2, so I don't think he's going to have to worry too much about that. I think he's going to be starting on the front row either way. Tom Kill and Kelsey are just going out now, so is Greenwich Beer, but I don't think they're going to have enough time. They're not going to have enough time to do another lap, unfortunately. Oh, Kelsey's in the wall, and Kelsey has lost his front left, so he isn't going to have enough time or enough wheels to complete a lap in time. Elo retires as well, so the second run is Mitchell now, but I don't think if he's going to have enough fuel to do a competitive lap. So let's see now into turn 1. 3rd gear, clipping the apex and very slowly on the throttle. Let's run a ball with Warlock. Is he on a lap? Yes, he is. Swarm retires, so he's not going to manage anything better than P8 on his Mercedes. Warlock then on the 2nd sector now, 23,000 slower than his personal best. Is he going to improve his position? Is Tom Killer going to have enough time to make another lap? Some questions here in the deep end of qualifying. I'm going to check your comments once qualifying is finished, but right now we have to focus on this man, the reigning GP2 champion, Warlock Mania. 3/10 up on the 2nd sector, so this looks very decent for the Ferrari driver. This will put him P2 if he carries on like this, and maybe even get very close to pole. Qualifying is finished, and you can see Greenwich Beer and Tom Killer are not going to have a second run in. Warlock comes into the last sector now, into the last 2 corners. Is he going to improve? Is he going to go on the front row? Last corner now for him. What is this lap going to be? Where is he going to put him? It's going to be a 49.4, just slower than Greenwich Beer. Goes P2 on the front row. Has Mitchell got an answer to that? We are going to know in some few moments time. But for now, Mitchell is P3 with a Warlock in P2, beating him by 0.3 of a second. So very good lap from both Warlock and Greenwich Beer to go in the low 49s. As we got Killuminati, Robin and Mitchell still to retire. Robin is just retired, so we're waiting for Mitchell and Killuminati. I'm not sure if they are on a lap. We don't have sound, unfortunately, from the helicopter cam. Mitchell's just finished, so we're waiting for Killuminati to finish his lap as well, or retire from the session. So I'm just gonna check your comments now. Hello, Louis. Yes, Louis, F1 standings are done. About 5 days now. And well, from practice I did a 32.9 for your information, Louis. So that answers your question. So Greenwich Beer is on pole for the Russian Grand Prix. Warlock in 2nd, Mitchell in 3rd with a 49.7, Tom Killer 4th, Kelsey 5th, Real Elo in 6th, and Chill Drive, the last 49 runner, in P7. And then we have 2 Finnish drivers, Swarm and Guinness, with Killuminati in P10, the Bensei P11, Robin P12, Maledictus P13. And these guys are going to start on a fresh set of compounds if it's dry. Online, Louis. 32.7 on TT. So we're getting ready now for the Russian Grand Prix. It is dry, so everyone are going to have a free choice of tyre for this race. I think most people are going to go for the one stop, if not all. So it's all down to the driver's speed to be victorious here in Sochi. So let's see how this pans out. Tom Killer in the lead of the standings with 40 points. The Pensei's left the session just before the race start, but we are getting ready. It's a very long run down to turn 1 and 2, so we're gonna see a slipstream fest. It's very crucial to get the lead here on lap 1. So we're getting ready. 4 lights, 5 lights, and the Russian Grand Prix is underway. Very good start from Greenwich Beer. Already pulls away from Warlock in the Ferrari. He's gonna get the slipstream, while Mitchell right behind him is gonna get a toe of the Ferrari. The McLaren is right there though. Tom Killer up the inside of Childrod. Let's see up ahead. Greenwich Beer keeps onto the lead. Contact between the Haas and the Force India. The McLaren gets pushed off. Tom Killer down to 6th place now. Childrod onto P5, and Kiwis has left the session now. He's retired from this race, but Greenwich Beer still in the lead with Warlock in P2. He's not pulling away though. Greenwich Beer's first sector gap is only 4 tenths. Further back we got Kelsey getting P3 off the start. Mitchell up into P4. Childrop into P5, and Tom Killer down to P6. Championship leader, not an ideal start for him. We've got a battle further back. Riolello and Swamp for P8. Slight corner cut from Alice Killer there, the Ferrari, and he's going to let him through there, but slight damage from the Mercedes car there. So Swamp, in his attempt to pass Alice Killer, who's letting him through, he got damage there, so that's not going to help him at all. I think we're going to battle for P5 here. Tom Killer and the House of Chill Drive. No Chill Drive on the Force India. And further ahead, Mitchell and Kelsey for the podium here. Around the outside is Mitchell going to go. He's actually made the move done, and is 3 wide now going to the 3rd sector. The Force India and the Haas side by side. Both Force Indias there on the battle for P3. Is still 3 wide going into the penultimate corner. Who's going to have the upper hand? It's going to be Chill Drive into P3 as we have the first lap action. Up and up into P5 he goes, but Mitchell is not done there. He's dropped to P7, so he wants to get past Illuminati now, but he's getting attacked by the Mercedes driver. Hello, is he going to get the move done? Yes, he is. Slight corner cut, but up into P7 he goes. Got someone going off there, and still the 2 Haas and the Force India, I believe. That is Tom Killer, the McLaren then. So he's still into P5. Childroff is going to pull away, and we have a Force India there coming back onto the track very dangerously. Alice Killer up the inside of Guinness, side by side then. 2nd sector now into the 90-degree right-hander, pushes him there, and Alice Killer saves it just about. Mitchell up into P9, so he gets a position done out of that battle. Have side-by-side action further ahead, while Greenwich Beer's got a 3.3 second gap from Warlock, so really flexing his muscles there. Illuminati on the DRS of Chill Drive, which is going to be enabled from the next lap. Kelsey dropping back then from Tom Killer as he's battling with Elo for P6 now. Guinness not further back, not much further back from these two either. Mitchell's right there, and Alice Killer is right there as well, as we have a dive bomb there from Robin, the reserve in the Sauber here. Swamp defending very well indeed. 3.6 the gap from Warlock to Greenwich Beer, as the Pensei is in the pits. I think he's left the session, if I'm correct, before the race starts. So Maledict is down to last place. Benel FC down to 13th. He's in a battle for P11 here with Robin and Swamp. Robin opens the DRS. Is he going to make a move up the inside? We've got a position change up in front from Elo and Kelsey. Elo around the outside into turn 3. The Haas is going to stick it in there, and P6 for Kelsey. But Elo does have an answer into turn 5. No, he doesn't. He's going to stick into P7 for now. But further back, we did see Robin and Swamp. But Swamp actually drops back even further behind Penal FC now. So he was in P11 and now P13 for him. So he's dropped further back. Mitchell up into P9, while Alex Killer is having some trouble there on his Ferrari. Just 1 point for now for him. So he definitely wants to do better than that in this race. Kelsey still in P6. Elo right behind him though. And the other real battle we have is Tom Killer and Killuminati. Tom Killer around the outside on the third sector is going to make the move done. Amazing move by Tom Killer. McLaren up into P4 and now he's going to chase down Chill Drive for P3. And later Warlock is not further ahead as well. So are we going to see the two championship rivals battle it out here in Russia? Alice Killer makes a move done again on Robin. And I think someone spun there. Yeah, it is Mitchell for Cynthia. Spinning in sector 3. I think he has got slight damage on his front wing and he's going to pit in this lap. So Maledict is up into P13 and Robin into the points then. But this battle is still not over. We're going to focus on this battle for now. It's the closest now, but Kelsey actually makes a move. No, Kelsey drops back. Elo makes a move and Elo tries to defend it as much as he can, but Chill Drive now up the inside. Is he going to make the move done? No, he's not. He loses the position to Tom Killer, so a lot of action here. Elo around the outside. Kelsey again, very good traction. So these two are just swapping positions every now and then. So Kelsey moves up into P6, so he defends P6 for now. Elo 7th and Guinness in 8th, right behind these two. No one's really creating a gap except Greenwich Beer. 5 seconds now. And Killuminati right behind Chill Drive. So Chill Drive is losing his rhythm. He was in P3. Now he's got overtaken by Tom Killer. And Killuminati is right behind him as well. Are we gonna see a move? Yes, we are. Elo on KLC in sector 3 now. These two are side by side. Slight contact which pushes Elo onto the runoff area. And Guinness now is getting involved as well. So look at the battle here. Guinness up the inside and Guinness up into P6. Now slight contact with the Ferrari of Alice Killer and KLC. Guinness up into P6. Elo still in P7 though. And the one has got 3 positions lost is KLC now down to P9. And pushes Alice Killer off the track there. So very defensive move from KLC up into P8 now. Got many positions changing, but we're going to focus on this battle right here for now. P6 Guinness and Alice Killer still makes a move on KLC. They're just swapping positions every now and then. Elo up the inside into turn 3. These two are going to go side by side in the left hander of turn 3 and out into turn 5. The right hander. Elo's going to get a better exit, but Guinness is going to defend for now. So 6 positions still for Guinness in these early stages of this Grand Prix. So we're going to get a deep breath now. No battles right now, but as I say that, Elo doesn't want to have a break and he's still going at it on Guinness. This battle for P6 is hotting up even more. Around the outside is Elo. Gonna go, no he's not, because he's smart and he's going to pick up the DRS. And he's going to try and make a move now on this back straight. But he's way too far back, so we're going to switch to Killuminati's on board and see if he does a move on Chill Drive. Robin meanwhile dropping to P14. I think he had to make a pit stop alongside Mitchell. But further back then, Elo still right behind Guinness. 4-way battle for P6. And it's the only very close battle we have, except the battle for P4 right here. Killuminati and Guinness gonna ride on board with Killuminati now. The Haas driver is gonna make a move. No, he's gonna think better of it. But Chill Drive actually runs very wide and Killuminati is gonna make the most out of it. Gets very good traction. And is he gonna go up the inside into turn 4 now? Sweeping left-hander side by side between these two. Is the Force Cinder going to stick it in there? Yes he is. Slight contact. Illuminati runs a bit wide. Chill Drive still there. Is he still going to stick it on the inside? Yes he is. He dives it up the inside and Chill Drive defends his positions for now. So P4 for him. He remains in the position for 12 points. And up ahead we've got Tom Killer right behind Warlock. So this is going to be a very interesting battle to witness. Kelsey and Alice Killer still going at it for P8. These two are still swapping positions and Kelsey up into P8 now. Alice Killer down to P9. So the Ferrari driver, in contrast to the other one, is having a very bad race so far. So Tom Killer, 3/10 between these two. Tom Killer's going to go up the inside. That was not a great move by him. I don't think he actually wanted to make that. He's on the ultra soft tyres. Warlock is on the super softs. So he really wants to get past him before the end of the next lap. So Alex Killer again up into P8. He makes a move on Alex Killer. No, Kelsey up into P8 again. Alex Killer down to P9. So I think Alex Killer is getting very annoyed right now. Elo, is he going to defend P6? Yes, he does. Up into P6 he goes. He was in P7, so he makes the move done. And Tom Killer is actually going to make a move for P2 now. So he's on the ultra softs and he gets past Warlock on the supers. Greenwich is on the ultra softs as well. So a lot of action here, and not sure cannot keep up with it. Chill Drive and Illuminati is going at it for P4, while Guinness and Elo are still very close to each other. But let's see what happens between these two. They haven't really swapped positions. Chill Drive has remained in P4 for the remainder, for the most of this race, sorry. Warlock though is trying to stay with Tom Killer. He's going to try and pick up the DRS for this back straight here. Illuminati is going to pick up DRS as well. Now we're going to see a move done anywhere here. Haas driver on the toe and the DRS. Gap is now under 4/10. He's going to dive it up the inside. No, he's not. He's going to stay behind him for the third sector now. He's going to try and get a very good exit on these ultra softs. Shield drive on the supers. And up ahead we got Warlock and Tom Killer still going at it, very close to each other. Tom Killer, championship leader. Warlock in P2 or 3 I believe in the standings. So championship rivals battling it out for P2. Greenwich Beer from pole. And he's pulling away now, so Warlock starting P2, he's lost a position. Tom Killer didn't have a great start, he was down to P6. Is Warlock going to go for it? No, he's not. Reigning champion sticks behind him. Well, Illuminati is dropping back from Chill Drive now, and Guinness is not very close as he was. He's not as close as he was last lap. So this is the closest battle we got now. Warlock and Tom Killer for P2. So we're going to stay on board with these two now. Let's see what happens. And we got 2 retirements so far. MLG Kiwis had some controller issues, and the Bensei left the session before the race started. A very unfortunate disconnection, but Warlock now right behind Tom Killer, right on his rear diffuser. He's going to stick behind now. He's going to wait for the back straight. The long run down to turn 2. He's very close to him, and I think he's going to be thinking about a move. He really wants this move done very badly indeed. This is very valuable points over each other. He is going to pick up the DRS, so he stays behind him. Lap 9 out of 27 for these two. Warlock is going to pick up the DRS. Nothing is. We're going to see a move done now into lap 9 for P2. Warlock up the inside, and he's going to stick it in there. Tom Killer around the outside. These two are side by side. Tom Killer gets pushed off the track. He's still there. No, he's not. He's behind Warlock. So Warlock up into P2. Very controversial move there. Pushes Tom Killer off the track. Warlock is indeed P2 in the standings, just 4 points behind Tom Killer. So this would put him 1 point behind him, with Greenwich Beer not too far back. I think actually Greenwich Beer would be level on points with Warlock if it ended like this. So it's going to be very interesting indeed to see the standings after this race. Warlock loses the back end on the second sector, approaching the back straight with a DRS. Is Tom Killer going to go for a move? We got yellow flags in all the sectors. So Maledictus and Benel FC is off the track. So Benel FC had a spin, but we're going to focus on this battle. Tom Killer right behind Warlock. Same scenario as last lap, but with a twist. Warlock in second and Tom Killer in third. Gaps are starting to be created with Guinness and Elo still giving a battle for P6, both on the same compound, so both very equally matched. Tonkill actually has fallen off Warlock and is over 8 tenths behind him, so I'm not sure what happened there, but he's lost his rhythm. I think the ultra soft tires are going to start going off now. Guinness is not in the DRS anymore, 8.5 tenths now, so he's going up and down the gap, not really stable. But Renishbeer 6.1 seconds. He had a 3.2 second gap on the first 2 laps, so amazing drive from him so far. He is on the ultra soft, so I think we're going to see him pitting in the next few laps. Guinness is now under 7 tenths from Elo. Benel FC is going to pit, so yeah, he doesn't have a front wing, so I think that's the reason of him pitting. So Alice Killer up into P11. He's having a disastrous race here in Sochi. Ferrari haven't got a single race where both their cars finished, but Warlock is losing the back end and Tom Killer up the inside into P2 yet again. But Warlock, I think, is going to pick up DRS from this now. Yes, he is, so he opens it, and I think they're going to swap positions yet again. Tom Killer doesn't bother defending. Warlock is going to breeze past him. Is Tom Killer going to stick it in there? No, he's not. He stays behind him. So a little battle between them. Warlock a mistake, but then he picked up DRS from it. So in his unluckiness, he got a bit lucky there with the DRS. So Guinness and Elo still not making moves on each other. So I think the only real battle we got is the battle for P2. I'm going to focus on it. Well, Grenadier still, actually, as I say that, Elo and Guinness are going at it. P6, the battle now. Guinness was 4 tenths behind Elo, so I wasn't expecting a move done between these two. But oh well, there they are, battling for P6. I'm gonna have to see the battle for P2 as well now in a bit, but no, not yet. Guinness and Elo. Elo defends the position, Guinness up the inside, and he makes the move done slightly wide, but Elo is gonna try and hang it around the outside. I don't think that's a move that is to be done around the outside into turn 3 is not going to work, and is gonna stay behind him. So Guinness gets the move done up into P6. Next up is Illuminati, 6 seconds ahead of him though. So oh, Tom Killer spins, and Tom Killer is nearly in the wall, and Childrop is now right behind him, and Warlock is going to pull away now. Tom Killer, I'm not sure what happened there, but on the second sector he almost spun it and almost crashed into the wall. That would have been disastrous for the McLaren driver, and now he's going to get attacked by the Force India one. Chill drive, DRS, and Tom Killer is going to be helpless there. Wheel banging over 300 kilometers an hour into the sector 3. Now we go. Chill drive around the outside, and Tom Killer gets a bit hit there on the front right, so he loses the momentum he had. He was in P2 a couple of laps ago. Grenadier is in the pits. I think he's going to fit on the super soft tyres. Is anyone else going to pit? Yes, Tom Killer, championship leader, in the pits. Very crucial move by Chill Drive in the championship. Chill Drive up into P2, the 2 super soft runners leading the race, while Grenadier, Tom Killer, Illuminati and Guinness are all going to pit. They're all on the ultra soft tyres. So this promotes KLC up into P4 and Elo staying out on the ultra softs in P3. So lap 12 out of 27 now. This is not the current order. We have some people pitting. Maledictus up into P7 right behind his teammate. So this was very perfectly timed by Tom Killer to come out right ahead of his teammate, who is on the softs, and would have held him up a lot if he came behind him. So Maledictus doing pretty decent in the standings, P9 for him, 12 points. But his teammate is the main number 1 in the team, leading with 1 win and 40 points, just 4 ahead of Warlock and 8 ahead of Grenadier. So if Grenadier wins this race and Tom Killer finishes 3rd or 4th, Greenwich Beer is going to get the lead in the championship, and Warlock is going to be just 1 point ahead of him if he finishes P3. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out in P3. But we've got a battle right now for Kelsey and Elo. Elo starts going off now, so I think we're going to see him pitting this lap on his Ultra Softs, lap 12 for him. And yes, he is indeed pitting for the Super Soft tyres, I would imagine. So Tom Killer is going to be up into P5 with Greenwich Beer up into P4. The net leader, you have him. Warlock is currently leading on the Super Soft. He's going to have to make a pit stop for the Ultras though. And we see their positions changing as Elo is pitting. Guinness up into P8. I believe he has already made a pit stop. Killuminati has made a pit stop and is interestingly put on the soft tyres and not the Super Softs. So we're going to see him struggle a bit. But Maledictus is on the softs as well, with Tom Killer and Greenwich Beer on the fresh Super Softs, with the top 3 on Warner Super Soft. So once they all pit, I think Greenwich Beer is going to get the lead. But the main question is, who is going to rejoin in P3? Is it going to be Tom Killer or is it going to be Chill Drive? I remind that Chill Drive was ahead of Tom Killer when Tom Killer pitted, but with the undercut I think Tom Killer is going to rejoin ahead of him. And now Greenwich Beer is not going to be very happy if he loses time behind KLC, who is not going to pit. So Greenwich Beer is going to pick up DRS, but he's going to pick up the dirty air as well, which is not going to help him. Killuminati and Maledictus very close to each other, battle for P6. They are both very close, but let's see now, is Greenwich Beer going to make the move done? Very crucial for his race. And up into P3 he goes, going to pass him before the braking zone. Chill Drive right behind Warlock now, 6/10's the gap. So Warlock, I think his tyres are going off more than Chill Drive's. He was battling with Tom Killer as well. Chill Drive wasn't, so Killuminati up into P6. He does indeed pass Maledictus on the back straight. And Guinness is watching this battle, and he wants this battle to keep on going so he can catch up to these two and get some valuable points for him in the championship as well. Chill Drive still 6.5 behind the leader Warlock Mania, who is net P2. But I think now they are staying out so long that I think Tom Killer is going to be very close to jumping Warlock. But then we have Warlock on the Ultra Softs for the last stint, and Tom Killer is going to be on fairly worn Super Soft. So it's all going to be very interesting. Maledictus loses another position from Guinness. But he's going to pick up DRS then, so Guinness had already made the move done before that corner. Side by side between the pair of them is Maledictus going to defend P7. Guinness goes very wide, locks up the inside right. Slight lag there. I'm not sure what's going on. Maledictus is going to spin off onto the runoff area, but he remains in P8. A lot of lag from the McLaren driver. Hope that doesn't affect anyone else but him. Chill Drive and Warlock going at it now. They don't want to battle, especially Warlock. Chill Drive is on a battle for P3 and Warlock is on a battle for P3, as we have Elo DNF from this race. What happened there? Both his wheels are gone in the sector 3 with 3 corners to go on lap 15 for him. 14. Both his front tires are gone, so let's quickly check the comments now. Yeah, Elo is out of this race unfortunately, which promotes Mitchell and Ben LFC up a position. Robin back in the points then, with Elo leaving the session. Chill Drive half a second behind Warlock. He's going to benefit a lot from this. He picks up DRS for another lap, and Greenwich Beer is just 12.3 seconds shy of P2. So I think when these two pit, he's gonna have a bigger gap than the 6 seconds he had before the pit stops. Chill drive pits. Lap 15 out of 27. He's gonna have to stretch out the ultra soft 12 laps, so it's gonna be rather interesting to see where he comes out. Is he gonna come out behind Tom Killer? Is the question. Tom Killer enters the final 2 corners while Chill Drive is fitting on the ultra soft tires. Let's see now. Tom Killer, final corner. Chill Drive is exiting the pits right about now, and I think Tom Killer is gonna jump him. Yeah, he does indeed. So Tom Killer regains a net P3. And I think this means that Warlock is going to lose P2 as well. But Chill Drive, remember, he's on the ultra softs, Tom Killer on the super soft, so he's going to be very vulnerable to him, is Tom Killer. Well, Warlock is going to get jumped by both of them. I think Warlock, in my opinion, is going to get jumped by Chill Drive as well, so he's going to be in a net P4 with KLC still out on the track. So Warlock, I think he's gonna react to Chill Drive pitting on the previous lap, and he's gonna fit on the ultra softs for the last stint. Greenwich Beer just 11.5 seconds behind him, so I think he's gonna celebrate a win here in Russia, as everything is looking like. Guinness, right behind Illuminati. Are we going to see a move done here for P6? Net P5, I think, if both of them don't have to make a pit stop. Is Warlock going to pit? No, he stays out for another lap. And so does KLC. We've got yellow flags in Sector 3. That is Alex Killer. It's the Ferrari of Alex Killer. Winner in China and spinner in Russia. So Robin, I think, has lost a position as well to Swam, so he's out of the points yet again. He's having a very bad race indeed here in Russia. Guinness now right behind Illuminati. Are we going to see a move for P6? Guinness thinks about it, but doesn't go for the move. He wants to stress Illuminati as much as possible. He wants to lead him to a mistake. He's on the more worn tires. He's on the soft. Guinness is on the super softs. And he's now right behind him. Let's see now. Tom Killer is right behind Kelsey as well. But this is the closest battle we got on track. Guinness right behind him. Illuminati stays on to P6 for now. Tom Killer though right behind KLC. Very close, these two. I think Tom Killer is going to make the move done. On this back straight, he opens up the DRS. KLC pulls off onto the outside. Tom Killer up into P3. He goes. So is Guinness going to go for a similar move? No, he's not. He's way too far back. So we're going to focus now. Warlock stays out for yet another lap. So the clouds are coming. Are we going to see rain for the last laps? And is this what Warlock is thinking? Maybe his engineer is telling him that rain is coming. Can from the chat tell me if there's rain coming for the end of the race. Chill Drive makes the fastest lap as he's not on clean air. He's got Kelsey right in front of him, and yes, the rain is coming. Rain is coming here in Russia. We've got rain on our monitors right here. So Warlock, what a masterclass of a strategy. He stayed out, and this is gonna pay off. 18 laps on the super soft. Rain is here. So right as I was saying, clouds are looking very dangerous indeed, and we have some very light rain here in Russia, which is gonna get heavier and heavier as the laps go out. So what have we got here? We got Warlock staying out 19 laps as he's gonna finish off the next lap here on the super softs. We got Greenwich Beer, who has made a pit stop. Let's use this, yeah. So we got Warlock, 0 pit stops. The 3 guys behind him, Greenwich Beer, Tom Killer and Chill Drive, who fighting for P2 was Tonkill and Chill Drive are going to be battling for the podium now. Kelsey still staying out as well, so very smart strategies from both Kelsey and Warlock and Maledictus on the softs. And these are the only 3 drivers that have stayed out on this dry period, only to see the rain coming. And oh man, what a strategy from Warlock, absolutely amazing. And this just came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting rain to come, but we got a move done. Killuminati still with Guinness battling for P6 this whole race. Look at the rain, it's just got heavier and heavier. I think some guys on the back might be pitting for intermediates. So let's see here. Guinness right behind Killuminati. Very dangerous here on the spray of Killuminati, both on the slicks. DRS is still enabled. Guinness pulls to the inside. Killuminati is not going to defend, but he stays in P6 as Maledictus is going to pit for Inter. So let's see now. This is the interesting part. We got yellow flag sector 1 is Guinness. So Guinness lost a position and is spun in the exit of turn 2. Very bad news for the Renault team there. And Alice Killer is going to be right behind him by the time he gets up to speed. We got more yellow flags now. Who's this then? Not sure. We got some damage from wing. I think it was KLC who's lost a bit of his front wing. So this is very interesting now. Slicks for everyone and rain for everyone. So very limited grip here in Russia. We got Swamp right behind the Ferrari driver Alice Killer, who has had a very bad race, but he's still in the points. DRS has been disabled by Charlie Whiting then. And look at the grip Chill Drive's got. He's on fresh ultra soft. He doesn't have any grip whatsoever. I think Warlock is going to pit now for Inters. Yes, he is. Grunge a pit, so will Tom Killer, and so will everyone else. So it is clearly light rain now. It is clearly intermediate, and clearly everyone will go in the pits for some green tires. Oh, we have a Guinness again. Guinness is struggling so much. Everyone's struggling really, but Guinness is having a very bad time there. Grenageby is going to be held off, and I think Childruff and Tom Killer, are they going to jump him? They're going to be side by side. They're inside each other, but no, Grenageby up into the 2nd place. Tom Killer though right behind him, and we're going to see a real battle there for P2. Anything else going on? Kelsey repairs his damage front wing as we saw, and oh no, Killuminati is going to have to stay behind him. This is going to cost him so much time. Guinness jumps him. I think Alice Killer is going to have a new front wing as well. He had to stay behind. Tom Killer makes a move. So Tom Killer up into P2. Not sure what happened to Greenwich, but Greenwich, as it was looking like he was going to get the win, he is going to be battling for the podium with Tom Killer and Shield Drive. This is amazing scenes here. Tom Killer has got amazing pace in these intermediate tires. So Killuminati is still in the pits there. He's just exiting now. He's still in P7 with Guinness still running a bit wide there. Very interesting to see from Guinness, a very experienced driver. We had him last season, and I don't remember him having such hard time in the wet. But gaps are starting to be created. No gaps inside the 1 second for him. Is another win? I don't think he's actually got a win. No, Warlock has not got to win this race, this championship, sorry. So yeah, this is going to be his first victory if he does end like this. Well, Tom Killer is going to have another podium, but he is going to lose the championship lead as it stands. Greenwich is going to lose more points in the championship fight, which is not going to help him. It would have been so much more interesting if Greenwich won. Championship would be looking very close coming into Spain, which is in 1 week's time. And I am going to be partnered by Johnny again after 2 races. So yeah, it will be very interesting indeed to see who comes out on top for the podium fight. But no real battles going on right now. We are seeing Greenwich Beer struggling a lot on the intermediates. Red Bull driver is falling back from Tom Killer, and meanwhile Shield Drive under 8 tenths now from Greenwich Beer, so he's gained over a second from the point they pitted. While Warlock is still extending his gap from Tom Killer, so I think Greenwich Beer is the guy who is very slow here in the dying stages of this Grand Prix. And Shield Drive runs a lot more wide than he would have wanted to, and he still runs a bit wide, lose the back end, and the gap is up to 2 seconds now, so not an ideal last sector for him. Not a very good way to end off lap 21 here in Russia. Gap is now 9 tenths between Tom Killer and Greenwich Beer, so this is very interesting to see Greenwich Beer gaining the pace again, or Tom Killer, I would imagine, made a mistake. But no, Warlock is now dropping back as well, so Warlock lost a second to Tom Killer on the last sector, and Greenwich Beer got a further 5 tenths on Tom Killer on the last sector, so I think everyone's making some small mistakes here on the very tricky third part of the circuit here in Sochi. So Greenwich Beer is still catching Tom Killer, 7 tenths the gap now, as Shield Drive is not too far back either from these two, 1.6 the gap. So are we going to see that three-way fight we were hoping for P2? Obviously we thought it would be between Tom Killer, Warlock and Shield Drive, as Greenwich Beer had a very big gap to Warlock. Alice Killer makes the move down on Swan for P9, and he's got Guinness right ahead of him, who is looking very vulnerable in these inters. He's gone off the circuit about 3 times now, so he's really struggling, as is everyone else, to be fair. So we got many battles again here in Russia, one for P8 and one for P2. We got Guinness struggling, and Alice Killer in the Ferrari catching him very rapidly. He has just made a move on Swan on the start of this lap, and now he's right behind Guinness. So let's see how this pans out. 5 tenths the gap between him and the Renault driver. Guinness is struggling a lot here. Alice is pushing him. Very close to each other. 2 tenths the gap now. Into the very tricky section. This uphill left-hander and then 90-degree right-hander. Alice Killer is going to have a way better exit. He's right behind Guinness. He's going to go up the inside. There's still going to be side-by-side slight contact there. Alice Killer up the inside. Guinness has to stay in P9. So Alice Killer up into P8. While Greenwich Beer is still about 8 tenths thereabouts from Tom Killer. Warlock is still extending his gap now to 17 seconds with just 6 laps to go. Guinness is right behind Alice Killer. He's not falling too far back. But let's quickly check the penalties now. There are not many battles. Warlock has got a penalty and a warning. Tom Killer has got 6 seconds. Greenwich Beer has got 3. And Shield Drive has got 3 penalties as well. So I think Shield Drive is going to remain in P4 from his penalties. And the interesting thing to see is Tom Killer and Greenwich Beard. Tom Killer has a penalty more than the Red Bull driver. So I think if it stays like this, Tom Killer is going to be demoted down to P3 and Greenwich Beard up into P2, which is going to make it very interesting in the standings. Warlock is going to get the championship lead after this Russian Grand Prix, after an amazing strategy. And we're finally going to see a double finish for Ferrari, and it's a double points finish as well. Not as great as Alex Killer would have thought or would have liked, but it is what it is. He's going to be 4 points at best for him, as Illuminati is over 5 seconds ahead of him. So we've still got a very tight battle for P2 on track, but on penalties, Chill Drive has got a penalty more than Greenwich Beer, who has a penalty less than Tom Killer. So Tom Killer, all he has to do is pull away from Greenwich Beer, make a 3-second gap, which I don't think he is going to do. Greenwich Beer is actually reeling him in the sector 3 now. It's the third part of the circuit where Greenwich Beer is looking very strong. Everyone's on the Inters as well, and it is light rain, so let's see how the fuel is looking like for everyone. Tom Killer and Greenwich Beer have got plenty of it, so does Chill Drive. Kelsey doesn't have so much, neither does Maledictus. Illuminati is struggling again with fuel. We did see him in China struggling with fuel, so Chill Drive now right behind Greenwich Beer. Are we at least gonna see a move done on track? It might not matter for the finishing positions, as Chill Drive has got a lot of penalties to deal with, but at least we would like to see a very nice battle between them. And Tom Killer on number 16 into P2, while Warlock has extended his gap to 18 seconds. Reigning champion, still with no wins in the 2017 season. I think he is going to celebrate one in style here today. But this is what we're focusing on, battle for P2. If Tom Killer doesn't have a 3-second gap from Greenwich Beer, he is going to have to stay in P3, as he has a penalty more than Greenwich Beer. But let's check it again. So yeah, penalty in 3 seconds for Tom Killer, so that's 6 seconds, and 1 penalty from Greenwich Beer. So that is 2.2 seconds he has to create on the next 2 laps from the Red Bull driver. But Chill Drive has shown very good pace on this last stint, made a couple of small mistakes which cost him maybe P3, but he's right behind now Greenwich Beer, right on his tail. So I think if these two battle, this is exactly what Tom Killer wants to see. I think this is the only way he's going to have a 3-second gap towards the end of the race, is only if these two battle. So if I were him, I would just risk it all and try and hold up Greenwich Beer so these two can battle. As it's very crucial that he gets P2 here. So he's only 3 points behind Warlock. If he does get demoted to P3, then he'll have a 6-point gap to Warlock heading into Spain, which means if he wins, then he has the championship lead yet again. Illuminati right behind Maledictus as well. are we going to see a move done for P6? We have seen a lot of battles for P6 between Guinness and Illuminati, but now it's Maledictus and Illuminati, so Guinness further back in P9. And she'll drive right behind Greenwich Beer. He's going to pick up the better traction here on the wet track. Illuminati still right behind Maledictus. She'll drive very close to the Red Bull driver. Warlock entering the final lap, and so is Stonekiller, Greenwich Beer and Chill Drive. Now Swam is running up the top 10, he's going to pick up a point. No moves done for P3, so let's switch to battle for P6 now. Illuminati is still struggling with fuel, but he's going to go up the inside. His Maledictus is going to think about the switchback. Yes, he is, but he doesn't attempt it very well. Maledictus is has more fuel than Illuminati. Illuminati is struggling with it, as our Warlock is going to enter Sector 3 any moment now. Chill Drive is still right behind Greenwich Beer and Tom Killer. And Maledictus under 4/10 the gap now to Illuminati. Illuminati cannot use Rich Mix up the inside. Maledictus goes into turn 2, but Illuminati swings around the outside, and I think this is going to be the battle over. Let's switch to Warlock. He's had a very wonderful strategy here in Russia. Started on super soft and stayed out as long as he had to do. He's gonna win here in Russia. Last 2 corners for him. It's his first race win here in the 2017 season. Warlock wins in Russia, and with it gets the championship lead over Tom Killer, who is gonna finish in P3. Unfortunately for him, due to penalties, he's gonna have to stay in P3. Still a podium for him though, still 15 points, a very good result for him. And I think we saw Alice Killer jumping Maledictus there, and up into P7 he went. So Greenwich Beer, another podium as well for him. P2, Tom Killer in P3, and as expected, Chill Drive in P4. KLC is going to finish in P5 with a big gap to Illuminati in P6. I think battling, we have Illuminati and Alice Killer, but I cannot switch the cameras for some reason. Kelsey finishes in P5, 10 points for him. Very good result as well. Alice Killer under 3/10 now, the gap to Illuminati. But Illuminati is going to finish in P6. With Alice Killer in P7. No, Alice Killer jumps him actually. Alice Killer didn't have more penalties than him. But Guinness actually jumps both of them. And Guinness from P9. No, hang on a second. I'm getting very confused here. Swam is apparently in P6. He was in P10. And he has apparently finished in P6. With Guinness in P7. Alice Killer in 8th. Illuminati 9th. So, Illuminati finishing in P6, but getting dropped to P9, while Swam from P10 gets promoted to P6. So that is amazing how much penalties can cost you. So we're going to see the podium sequence now with Warlock, Greenwich Beer and Tom Killer in the podium. The Dutch driver wins. Car number 1, reigning champion, gets his first race win in 2017. Wins in style. And celebrates his championship lead over Tom Killer in 3rd. He's got 6 points buffer to the McLaren driver. Greenwich being not too far back either. And here are the last standings of an enthralling race. Warlock in P1, Greenwich Beer P2, another Belgian driver, Tom Killer in P3, Chill Drive and KLC, 2 British drivers in P4 and 5, 2 Finnish drivers in P6 and 7. Look at the penalties everyone's got. Swam, I think, was the only one to not get a penalty, so very well done to him. Alice Killer in P8, Illuminati in P9, Mitchell in P10, Maledictus 11th, Robin 12th, and Ben LFC, who's just left the session, with 35 seconds of penalties. Oh my god. He's in P13 then, so that was a Russian Grand Prix. We are gonna get the interviews done in a moment's time. And oh boy, that was amazing. That was an amazing race. We saw some different strategies. We saw Warlock stretching it out to lap 20 on the super soft on one compound. Very well done to Childroff as well, taking P4. And we're gonna get these guys on the party now. What an enthralling race. I'm out of words really. Have no words to describe that race. Just amazing once again, show from the F2 drivers. So we're gonna invite them now to the party so they can have their word about the race and what they thought. There we go then. Warlock celebrating the chat, his win. So hopefully we can get them in the party and ask them some questions. We had so many battles out on track here in Russia. Got Tom Killer and Greenwich Beer in the party then. Hello guys, and GG on the podium, congratulations. So we're just waiting on Warlock. You can hear Tom Killer celebrating his P3. So you did get dropped to P3, Tom Killer. The extra penalty cost you 3 very valuable points. So I'm afraid you've lost the championship lead. And what have you got to say about that? Yeah. Indeed, Warlock pulled off a absolutely mad strategy. Warlock, how did you manage that? 20 laps on one set of tires? Yeah, that was just amazing. How do you think you did that? And just amazing. Congratulations on that amazing strategy. Alright, so got a question for Greenwich Beer. I thought you had that win settled in and 25 points for you, and it was all looking like you were going to get the championship lead, but then it was a Warlock. So did you know that the rain was coming, and did you think at that point when you pitted that you messed up, and yeah, how did that race go? Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So. Oh, okay, yeah. I personally didn't know the rain was coming, but when I saw you staying out on lap 19, yeah. Really? I didn't see that. So yeah, I didn't know that. I was just clueless about what was coming up. But yeah, then I saw the clouds and you staying out 19 laps. So I was like, the rain was coming, and 20 seconds later, boom, a rain was drilling down the circuit. So amazing strategy from you. Didn't expect that whatsoever. You get the championship lead coming into Spain. Yeah, first win in 2017. Indeed. So, 2 championship rivals. You were fighting, Tom Killer and Warlock, you guys were fighting in the early stages for P2 and 3. A very crucial battle for the championship at this stage. 3 valuable points for both of you, while Greenwich Beer was pulling away. But then yeah, it all turned up to be a very enthralling race with the rain coming. We saw so many drivers, but how were the conditions out there? Was it too difficult to handle? The intermediates. Oh, okay, interesting. Very interesting, because we saw Guinness, he went off at least 4 times there, and he was really having a bad time. But this was the Russian Grand Prix, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. A very amazing race here with the wetter transition and some amazing strategies. Cough cough Warlock. So we're gonna see you in 1 week time in Spain, with Warlock taking the championship lead. Can Tom Killer get it again in Catalonia? We'll have to wait and find out. See you in 1 week's time in Spain.